Hi, it's Joy Usher, the author, and this is my first vlog. Now, I must admit, when my assistant came to me and said that I need to start vlogging, I was like, what and why? So she sent me a whole lot of examples of other authors on AuthorTube and their vlogs, and I must admit, after I'd watched a few of them, I started to see why it was such a good idea. So this is my first vlog. What I want to do today is just give you a little look at me, where I work, my life, my working companions, which are asleep, who are asleep over there, and a little bit of what I'm doing right now. So first I want to introduce you to my working companions. So this is little Ebony here, if you can see her, fast asleep on her little blankie. Yeah, she's a good little girl. Got this little schnauzer. And then down here we have the beautiful Chloe bear. So they are my constant companions when I'm writing. And then this is my office. So basically, it's a granny flat that I've taken over and I'm using as my office. So this here is my favorite chair. See this, this red chair here. So this is my favorite chair. So this is where I do a lot of my thinking, editing, stuff like that. So writing, things like that from this chair. So you can see over here at the moment I've got actually my latest book covers, but I've also got what I'm working on, which is my latest project. So I'll talk to you about that in a little bit at the moment. I've got my desk. Now I'm also, you may or may not know, I do other things. I'm not just a writer. So I'm a dentist, I'm a hypnotherapist, psychotherapist, and I'm an online marketer, sales coach, and I'm also building up a business as a mindset coach, so helping people to be able to actually take action within their lives and their business for what they want. So I'm pretty busy. So when I write, I need to get stuff done. I don't have time for writer's blocks. I don't have time for creating lots of different stuff. So I'm always just sitting down, and when I write, I write. So what I like to do, how I like to write, is basically have, when I start writing, I have an overview of what the story is going to be about. I have plot points of what I want. I have a bit of a structure worked out, and then I just start writing, and the magic starts to happen. So characters that I didn't even know were going to happen start to happen. So characters that I hadn't even known were going to be part of the book will just spring into life and sometimes take over. Sometimes they become very big characters who I hadn't planned for. So for me, the writing process is a very magical one. A little bit of, I kind of feel like it's if you're making a fire. So you put the sticks and you put the kindling and then you light it, but then it takes on a life of its own, right? And it starts to do things that you've got no control over. So for me, writing is a little bit like that. I get my framework going and then I start writing and then it just takes on a life of its own, which is pretty magical. So what am I working on at the moment? Well, I'm working on, this is, if you can see this here, I've just sent this off to the editor. So this is the 6th book in the Chanel series, Chanel number 6. So I started writing that a couple of years ago and I shelved it. And I shelved it because I wasn't writing it for the right reason. I was writing it just to get the book out there, just to get it done. And to be totally honest, to try and, I was trying to create an income from writing that would allow me to give up everything else that I'm doing so that I could just concentrate on what I love doing, which is creating stuff. But instead of, the more books I was producing, the worse my sales were getting, and it was due to Amazon's changeover of algorithm. So, now it's all about paid marketing. So that's what we're doing now. We're starting to get our paid marketing system going, and sales are starting to go up, which is good. But I went from making, a nice amount of money every month to hardly anything, to be honest. And it was quite disheartening to have put that much work into, I had 10 books out there. It's a lot of work writing 10 books and a lot of money involved in that 10 books. There's a lot of time, hard work and effort, but then the cost of editing and the cost of cover design and everything else that goes into it, that, I had basically put more money into my last few books to get them out there than I had made in publishing them. And at some point you got to sit down and have a think about that, like all my time and effort, and everyone just wants stuff for free these days. I just want free books. I actually, I would get emails from people. So I would do a free book promotion, give away book 1 for free. And then I would get emails from people actually saying to me, thanks, I really enjoyed that, but I never buy books. So I guess I'll never know what happens next. And I found that amazing that they weren't willing to support authors whose works they really liked. and keep reading, because there is so much free books out there that they can get, that they didn't have to do that. So I kind of, all of that got on top of me, wore me down basically, and to the point where I just stopped writing. And I realized I wasn't writing from the heart, I wasn't writing from passion, and it was showing in the work. Just in my last book, it was not good. It was pretty bad. Anyway, I shelved it. And then my assistant, lovely assistant Chris, was on my case about writing, getting back into the writing and pushing it. And I had learned so much about online marketing since I had stopped the writing, because I had dived into that side of my career. So I decided to bring that all back into bearing with what I knew about advertising, with what I knew about marketing, with what I knew about social media, and to give it another shot. So here we are, round 2 of trying to make it as an author. In saying that, I went back to my book and I edited it, and it took me quite a few months to get it to the point, but it's just posted off to the editor the other day, so I'm excited about that. I've done the cover design, so that's good, and she's ready to roll. So now I'm on to my next project, so I'm very excited about my next project. I am going to do a cover reveal very soon. I found a very talented cover designer called Melody Simmons, and I actually, when I was redoing all my covers for the War Fairy trilogy, I came across her. And if you're going to have a look at my War Fairy trilogy, she's done the current covers for them. She's amazing. But I had found she had done a pre-design. So sometimes they do, when you're looking for covers, you can find cover designers, and they have covers that they've created, and then you can buy them and then get your name and your book cover and stuff put on there. I found a series of 3 covers that she had done that I loved, but I just didn't know who the character was. I didn't know who she was. And then I've been doing a lot of soul searching lately, a lot of long walks along cliffs in a lot of windswept weather, and it's been very inspirational for creative. And a character came to me while I was walking, and that's how my ideas normally start. I do a lot of walking, so people say, well, what do you do before you start walking? I just realized you can all see my let me just come in here and zoom in on her. Sorry, naked lady alert. Just if you're wondering what that is, I did a pottery course recently called Bootylicious Babes, and she was my creation. I've actually done another one too, who's going to be amazing. She's going to have all feathers coming out of her hair, and she's going to have her where she's got just stumpy arms. This one's going to have, I've got holes, I'm going to hang feathers and stuff. Anyway, I've named this new one I've created Taking Flight, because that's where I'm at the moment in my life. I'm taking flight. Anyway, just if you're looking in the back corner wondering what the hell there's a naked sculpture doing up there. She's not finished yet. She needs to be glazed. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, a lot of my inspiration comes from I walk. So I get up in the morning, I work out what my day is going to be, and then when I'm writing, I will say, okay, I'll go for a walk, and then I'll think about my story and what I'm at, and I ask myself questions, and I just drop the questions in, and the answers come back. And so if I'm at a point where I am stuck, I don't really have problems with writer's block, because that's what I do. I just go somewhere and I ask myself questions and I write the answers to the questions. And it's amazing, the knowledge, we already have the answers inside of us. So you just got to ask quality questions and you will get quality answers. So anyway, I was walking along this cliff, windswept, it was like very, beautiful, looking out to sea, and this character came to me. And she started to form and develop while I was walking that day. And her name is Mel, short for Melissa, and she is a demon bounty hunter. So she's not a demon, she's a witch, but she's a bounty hunter that hunts down demons who have overstayed their visit in the world or who have come in illegally, and she takes them and they put them back into the demon world. So I'm at the point with that book where I'm world creating. So what that means is I'm creating the premises for the story, like for the magic, for what the world is like, what sort of beings are in it, what is the magical, the quality of the world, like the magic, what can they do, what are they able to achieve. And it's really important that you work all this sort of structure out for world building before you start, especially if you're going to do a series or a trilogy, because and if you're publishing these books before you get to the end, you don't want to get to book 3 and think, geez, I really wish that they could do this, because that's what is necessary now, but you haven't written it into the whole book, the whole series, because then it just doesn't ring true, and it really throws the readers out of the story. So you got to spend some time world creating. So that's what I'm doing at the moment, and I'm coming up. I've bought those 3 covers, and I'm coming up with the whole 3 stories. So the premise for the flow of these 3 stories. Now, whether or not it will end up just being 3 books like a trilogy, I'm calling it a series just in case, or whether or not there will be more stories, we will see. But at the moment, I'm just creating the arc for the whole structure of these 3 books together, and then the arcs for each story within, what the plot points are, and then I'm going to start writing. So I've already got the first scene for the first book in my head, how it's going to start. And I'm hoping, I'm just creating something for a client, a marketing client of mine. So once I've done that, I'm going to start writing this. So how do I start? Let's come over here and I'll show you what I've been doing with my book. So last night, oh, here we go. This is my comfy chair. Just set up this camera. Okay, here we are. You're with me in my comfy chair. All right, so I have dinner in this chair. And then this is my notebook, and I've just started to write. So I sit here and I just daydream about the world. I ask myself questions about, for instance, are there witches? Okay, are the witches capable? Do the humans know there are witches? Are there humans as well, or is it just a witching world? Does everyone have magical powers? And if it is just, if there are humans, do the humans know about the witches, and how do they hide, and what do they do, and all this sort of stuff, these premises. So this is about the world building. So this is what I was working on last night. What other magical entities are there in this world? Are there fairies? Are there vampires? Are there shifters? Who else is there with the witches? What are the witches capable of? What's their purpose? What are they there for? What are their magical powers? So that's what I've been doing at the moment. And then, who is Mel? What does she want? What are her frustrations? What are her dreams? She's very frustrated. Let me just tell you that. So that's how it starts. And that's where I'm up to at the moment. So I've worked out what's going to happen, the whole arc of the whole books, and then I've kind of worked out the overall of how this arc of what the problem is, that she creates in book 1 that we need to solve by book 3. So what are the points within each book that get solved? And then I've started to get a couple of characters that have come to life, her grandmother, her sister, a couple of the other demon bounty hunters, a couple of little part characters that are demons as well are springing to life as I write this stuff. But I've still got a lot of work to go on that. Anyway, so I'm going to leave that here for today for this vlog, and I will keep adding to this vlog, obviously, because we will get in as I move into writing, and I'll show you a little bit about my processes, what I like to do when I write, and we'll go from there.